Yeah, I think at this point, we got everyone back from injuries, and I think, all year, one of our main strengths has been our depth. When guys have been out, a lot of different guys have stepped up into the lineup and made solid contributions to the team. And now we got our pretty much our full lineup intact, and I think that we're confident that we can go against anyone in the country. So.
Well, I think in addition to just making us stronger as a team, it kind of got some guys who wouldn't have had as big of a role, maybe some freshmen and sophomore who weren't playing as much. They had to step up, and they were forced to kind of take on some more minutes, which obviously when you do that in the league and in ECAC play and in tournaments such as the Bean Pot, where there's a lot of exposure, that puts a lot of pressure on guys, but it also gets them used to the situation. So now going into the tournament, we have guys who may have not played as many minutes if we didn't have some injuries. They were forced to do that, and they're used to it now, and they became better hockey players along the way because of it.
We've played together off and on since freshman year a little bit, and from the start of the season, I think when we came in the fall, we kind of picked it up kind of right away. But I mean, when you play with Jimmy, you're always getting the other team's best defensemen, and a lot of the time they're focusing on them, which who are focusing on him, which gives me a little more room, which is obviously helpful for me on the ice. But yeah, it's a game changer with Jimmy on the ice. They're focusing on him, and it doesn't matter because he's going to work harder than the other team. He's a competitor. That's probably the one thing that you really can see in every game. It doesn't matter who's on him. He wants to win. He's a competitor, and he's going to bring it every time he's on the ice, in more ways than one, as I said before. So it definitely helps me being his line mate, and it helps the guys on the bench seeing your best player work so hard every shift.
Seems like every time we've needed a big goal this year, Jimmy's the one to get it. So obviously that helps us with confidence too. I know in the Yale game, that double OT game, basically a lot of guys on the team were sitting there, we were like, if we keep us in this long enough, Jimmy's going to get one, and he did. So it always helps to have a guy like that on your team. Definitely, I think Dez, obviously, he's a great player, and he's had a great year this year. But recently in the playoffs, I think Clay Anderson and Wiley Sherman have really stepped up their game as our third D pair. They've given us everything we need out of them. They really haven't been on the ice for many goals, and they've been playing solid D, and that's been a big reason, part of our success recently.
Obviously Pat, from the start of this year, was playing great hockey and was someone that was a catalyst for our team. And, we started the year hot, and Pat was a big part of that. And then I'd say that us struggling in the middle portion of the year had a lot to do with him not being in the lineup. He brings a lot to the table for the team, offensively on the power play and rushing the puck, and then defensively in his own end, he's also excellent. And just to have him back, I think, just solidifies our depth on defense and gives our power play an added boost as well.
Specifically talking about the D, I feel like with me back, we have three D pairs who coach can kind of just roll and go out there and play. He doesn't have to worry about maybe having five guys and mixing guys around, and it always helps when you're used to playing with your partner and you guys can get in a groove together. So I think that definitely helps.
Yeah, well, I think at this point in the year, everyone has their role within the team established, and I think that my role is to bring goals and offense to the team, and put a lot of pressure on myself to deliver for the team. And like Coach Donato says, I come off the bus and onto the ice, and if I don't score a goal, if our line doesn't score, then I'd say that we failed in the game. So I think in terms of the overtime games, I'm just hoping to get one puck on my stick, because I know that if I can get a clean look, then I'm confident that I can beat the goaltender.
I mean, like I said after the championship game, I think it's kind of underappreciated, him starting every single game this year. It's incredible for a college goalie, and especially how well he's played. He hasn't really had maybe one or two off games all year, but besides that, he's been a rock for us, and he's been great back there. So we're confident that in his ability going into the tournament, and I think that's a big thing for us, knowing that we have a good goalie behind us.
In the gym the other day, we were actually recognizing the seniors and what they've contributed, and we've kind of talked about how they've had to face adversity and a bunch of different factors. And those guys have done an unbelievable job of kind of setting the table for the beginning of the season. And even before the year started with the injuries, I think we were kind of just trying to kind of face adversity and play the best that we could, and not really think about what's been in the past.